many different moods we can have from the moment we wake up in the morning until we go to sleep. And our moods depends on our thoughts. Our thoughts and our experience, whatever is happening. Somebody said something like this, I change my mood. I change my thoughts, I change my feelings. And we go through that throughout the day. How many of you hold that same beautiful thought you wake up with, and you find by the end of the day, that thought has bloomed and become a bigger flower? How many of you? It doesn't happen, right? Because so many things happen in the day. One is what happens to you, and there is also circumstances that happens to others. And then there is circumstances that's happening in the world. So wherever I'm plugged into, whatever I'm connected with, that's what I'm receiving. So we plug in, right? And so when I plug in, what am I plugged into? Whether it's the news of my past, whether it's the news of the present, what's happening around us, whether it's the news of that which is going on in my neighborhood or what's happening in the world, we give the control of our lives to all these things and all these people, and we tell them without speaking words, without even thinking about it, we are telling them to make me feel. Why do you think you turn on TV? Why do you think you watch all those shows? Why do you think you do it? You do it because you're giving who is on television, you're giving them permission to tell you how to feel. This is why those who cry easily and they watch movies or they watch that which makes you cry easily, what do? They cry because they put themselves into those circumstances and they have the same experience. Somebody else is telling you a story of their lives which is full of pain and suffering. You take that also and you go through the same with that person. And we call that having compassion for other people. If you don't go along with others' emotions, or someone doesn't go along with my emotions, I think they are not compassionate. I think they don't know what love is. So this is how our world operates today. Our world operates based on this emotional turbulence, that we think everyone should come into my turbulence and I should get into everyone's turbulence. And so how do I separate myself from all these turbulent things? And it's only when we have developed the art of doing that can I see everything is happening for the best. How can I be in turbulence and say, you know, this turbulence is good? Like right now, for example, I have my cousin brother in Canada who I got news. He got a stroke and is just waiting to go. Now, look at that news. The whole family is devastated. Now, do I put myself in that turbulence? And can I say that what is happening I tell them now, whatever is happening is good, is the best? Can I tell them that whatever is happening is the best? They will say something is wrong with you. That my son or my brother is dying and you're thinking that it's the best. And so how do we understand that everything is the best? Whatever is happening for the best. Is it only when the best is happening, it's the best? And when things that are not the best is not, it's not best? And this is why I love this study here at the Brahmakumaris. I love this study because it is this study that creates an understanding. It is this study that creates an experience. It is this study that creates an experience, and that becomes my awareness. So just to look at that same scene, because we were children, we grew up together. So that's not my cousin, that's my own brother. What is the experience? How can I see that what is happening for the best? And this is where for us, we understand karma and destiny. What is destined, who can change it? Can anyone change the destined, the things that are destined, that is playing out as our destiny? No one can change it. It is so powerful that even God cannot change it. Even God will say, you remember me so that you can stay strong. You can receive all of my powers. You can receive love. You can receive everything you need so that whatever it is that you cannot change, you will be able to remain stable. You'll be able to remain within your own heart. There will be beautiful feelings of giving. If I want, then I can't experience it to be the best. I can't experience the scene to be a scene that is beneficial in this drama. I will come into the spin of what's happening, why this is happening, this should not happen, this person is too young, and so many thoughts people will have, right? Where those thoughts take us, all those thoughts take us into confusion. And so best may not necessarily be the scene. The scenes that's playing out around us, they are not beautiful scenes. Scenes that is giving so much pain and so much sorrow, they are not necessarily scenes that we will say that they are joyful scenes. But it is our own awareness, our own consciousness, our own response to what's happening is what gives me the experience that everything that is happening for the best. Because remember, the scenes that's happening in life is not in our control. Do we have the control of Mother Nature in our hands? That we can say, okay, time for sun to shine. So we press a button, sun shines. Press a button and say, cold, go. Press another button, say, wind, don't be cold. Just calm down. Not possible at this time, right? And so we accept all the things that's happening around us with a mind, a beautiful mind, an intellect that has love and faith and understand the destined and destiny of the drama of our life. And every scene playing out as it should, knowing that I can't change the scenes, I can't stop the scenes. The only thing I can change, and we all know that very well, what is that one thing we can change? Our response, our thoughts, our feelings. These are things which are in my hands. And still we live in a world, or we still live in a culture, or still live in our lives where we find somebody to blame, right? Something doesn't happen the way we want or we think, or somebody said something they shouldn't say. We still come into complaints, or we still come into disagreements for it. We still come into the feelings of it. We still go through all those emotional turbulence. Why? Because we are missing the most important aspect of life, and that is the benefit that I am receiving and I am attaining from the scenes of life. It's happening. Can we stop the wars that's happening in the world? Would anyone listen to any one of us in this room? Nobody will listen to anyone. Mother Nature is creating such havoc in California and everywhere. Can we stop her? So what do I do when situations come in my own personal life? For me personally, I look and I see that, am I moving in the direction that the situation is going? I spoke to all my family members. Am I going where they are? Or did I choose where I want to be? If I go in the direction where they're going, they will lead me into the direction of sorrow. So what I did and what I still do is position my mind, my intellect, my heart, the heart of the soul, with God. And being in that awareness, receiving from God, sharing and spreading the vibrations of just light and love, God's powers. When I have conversation with them, I am bringing them where I am at. I am bringing them into an environment, and they are all the way in Canada and America, and I'm here in India. But still, I'm able to bring them all into a space which is an unseen space, which is a space of experience, which is a space that has so much of God's presence in it. That whether it's the mother, whether it's the sisters, whether it's the cousins, whether whoever it is, you're coming into a space that is very peaceful. Understanding that at this time, it's not what I want, but it is what that soul who is getting ready to exit the body. What is it that that soul is asking from everyone right now? That soul is asking for everyone's peace, for everyone's love, for everyone's vibrations of support. But we become so self-centered. Is what I want. This person, I want that this person should live on for as long as I think they should live for. But we know that's not the rule of the game, right? It's not the rule of the game. And if it's not the rule of the game, why am I asking to create a rule that doesn't exist? Each one of us, our destiny is there, what we're creating, we know. It's playing out, it's our story, it's our script. And so, what am I doing that is making me feel that everything is the best? And so, it's how much I stay connected with God, how much my mind shares these loving, beautiful feelings, the vibrations, to not only to the soul who's living, but to the whole family, is changing everything and making it best. We just went to see Baba's new place, our new home that is being built for the family and everyone in GK and beyond. Everyone knows that there is a new space that is being built, that is being constructed. Yeah, some don't know. There is a new home that is being constructed. So hopefully pretty soon there will be the shift from here to there. So one could say why it's taking so long, right? And that thought would have crossed many mind because it's a while now. But if I create that thought, what is the benefit in that thought? What will that one thought? Why is it taking so long? How will that thought help me? Would it help me? It will not help me. Would it help others? Would it help those who are constructing it? Would it help them? And so if it will not help anyone, why am I going in that direction? Why am I choosing to go in that direction of why? And so what we decided, let's have pure thoughts, pure feelings of presence of God. Now, if we did that this evening very beautifully, very powerful atmosphere, very beautiful experience. Now we did that, there is benefit, right? There is benefit for ourselves, there is benefit for the space, and there will be benefit for all those who have to come. So we made the best of it, something that doesn't seem to be the best. We made the best. They made this space clean in one day, few hours. We put some chairs and yogis are sitting there, and yogis create a pure, powerful vibration. Yogis create powerful vibration because we have the faith in our thoughts we create. So our thoughts and our feelings with our actions is going to make everything the best or make everything becomes the worst. It's our choice. It's our choice. And so each one will choose because you want the best happen in your life, right? Is there anyone who wants the worst happening in their lives? We don't want the worst to happen. And so understand certain secrets of life. I call them secrets because they are not things which are very obvious. And it's also that which has to reveal itself. Like we went there this evening to this space. Now, what we have done, is it revealing? Is it something anyone could walk in and see that, oh, these people were here, they did this? That? No. But what you can do, you can feel. Keep doing it, what you're building. You're building an experience, you're building a vibration in a space. This space in the beginning was just these walls. And what do you feel now when you walk in? As soon as you open the gate and you come in, it's a different atmosphere, right? It's an atmosphere you can't find anywhere. Who created it? Each one of you coming here, you have created it. And if you have created it, become aware of the power that you have to change that which is not of the best to the best. Each one of us, we have that power. We have it in us. And this is why we go back deeply into the awareness of the soul, awareness of who we are. And having the faith that this invisible point of light, the soul, is so powerful. Is so powerful. But because we are not in the awareness of ourselves, we get caught up with what's physical and we see only the manifestation of that which is physical. When that person who would have looked at the moon and say, I want to go to the moon. Going to the moon was only one thought, right? Everything starts with one thought. Climbing Mount Everest is one step, right? So one step, one thought. What I feel now in that thought makes what has to happen happen. If I feel the power of determination, courage, zeal, enthusiasm, what will be the result? It will be what I have created. And same thing, I feel questions. Why, how, what, when, where? I will go in a spin. So isn't it our choice? And so this is why we say, whatever, it's one of a very deep lesson in the Brahmakumaris. Remember, you are a soul, full stop. I am a soul, dot, point. Point. What is in this point? That which is so pure, like God. And the moment I become point, I can be with God. Do you know that all it takes for us to be with God is just to be this point? Do you know that how easy it is to be with God and how difficult it is to be with God? Most easiest is to be with God by thinking, I am a point. And most difficult is for anyone to think they are a point, to have the faith that they are a point. because we are so used to this body. We are so used to seeing everyone as bodies. And so the body comes in between again and again. Name, form, position, title, society, name it. It all comes in between. And I can't be the point. And if I can't be the point, I can't be with the one also who is a point. And so it becomes difficult to be with the point because I am not point. And third most powerful aspect is whatever is happening, whatever is playing out in front of us, it's called the drama of life. Point, full stop. We went to the space. Do you think we are going to think, oh, we went there, we went there, we went there? What's the benefit in that? Benefit is not going to be thinking, oh, we went there. We went there, full stop. What I do now is I use my thoughts to create an energy of God's presence in the space. Now, where do I want to go? Thinking that, oh, I went there, I saw this, I did this. No. But that's what some of us, our conversations could become, right? Our conversations will be about a space. What is there? What's not done? What needs to be done? What's this? What's this? And we waste our time in thinking. And so all of that cannot be the best. Best, I will change it to where I create the thought which has most elevated vibrations of God's presence and keep spreading it there. Do you see the difference? So who is making the difference? We are making the difference. We are the ones who are making the difference. So you see the choice we have. Now, how do we recognize the choice? How do I know how to move in that direction of seeing everything the best and not getting stuck or moving in the opposite direction? It's when the soul experiences itself as to who truly I am in these qualities, your faith grows. Faith is not only coming from the knowledge that I listen to. Faith is coming from your experience of being the soul. We don't have a soul, right? Anyone thinks you have a soul? You don't have a soul. But I am the soul. So we are at the junction in our lives now with all that we are surrounded by. The world is crying, the world is in pain. And I have to remain stable. I have to remain in an awareness that my hand should not be like this, but my hand has to be like the one who bestows, the one who gives, You look in the hands of goddesses, what do you see? You don't see their hands like this, right? Their hands are not asking anyone to give you anything. Go to any temple, you'll never find the hands of goddesses like this. And so, who are we? We're children of God who all have the feeling of love to give. One hand of blessings, which is our good wishes and pure feelings for whatever anyone is going through or experiencing in their lives. Just give. And the other hand, which overflows with all the treasures and attainments that the soul receives from God. And that experience is so profound, so powerful. It changes anything that is weak and that which I'm struggling with, it changes it to the best. Our Supreme Parent didn't tell us that he's magical and he's going to bring dead back to life. He didn't promise us that. He didn't promise that I will go and stop all these things from happening. God didn't promise us that. He didn't promise us that no circumstances and situations will come in our lives. Actually, he says more circumstances and situations will come. Because we also have to go to him. When our lives are happy and everything is good, people forget God. They put God aside and get lost and involved and engaged in all the worldly matters. The sensual pleasures, the things that are physical. One gets caught up in those things. And yeah, they pray to God, they remember God, but God becomes secondary. Do you know sometimes people can't even talk about God openly? It's as though one has to hide God. I have to hide God. Why I have to hide God? I don't have to hide God. So what we do in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions will give us the experience of how everything is happening for the best. I have to make sure and I see that some scene happen. I don't allow my mind to pick it up and keep thinking about it. Because that's an energy that is also going to destroy my happiness. It's going to destroy that. And I'm going to go into the category of experiencing a loss. I have to see that when I come into conversation with many, I don't pick up stories. I don't pick up stories. I always tell our family in New York that we must not become those of Ramayana. What is Ramayana famous for? It's stories, and a lot of stories of gossip. So we pick up all these Ramayana stories. So which means we're picking up stories all around. When we sit to have conversations, what is our conversations based on? Stories. We either move on to the political arena, We either move into the world political systems and what's happening and what's not happening. We move into our family's situation. We move into others' family situation. Why do I do that? And so everything, instead of being best, becomes the worst. Nothing will change if I do those things. And so let us think that every scene of life's drama that comes in front of you, in front of all of us, we have a very beautiful, clean, pure, powerful mind. Connecting with God, you will experience what you need to experience to give. Not to take, but to give. And this giving changes everything around us. Anyone has any question? Yes, brother. Who wrote the destiny? Mhm. It, right? That's why I'm giving the example of this, my cousin, my brother, who is preparing to leave his body. Now everyone is in suffering. And here I am, very peacefully, very lovingly giving vibrations. Does it mean that I don't care? Do I have to join them? Here is this child who got raped. Scene has happened. Can you change the scene? No one could have changed the scene. But what that scene has taught us, and hope it taught the people, was that what have they done to stand up for the women in this country? That is what is the learning from the lesson. So we can't change, but what we have in our hearts is a lot of compassion, a lot of mercy. Right. So even if she prayed to God, God's power will help her to ease her suffering. But God's power, if I have, destiny is very much connected with karma. There is no destiny without karma. No destiny. And we don't like to hear it. Really, it's one of the things in life that people have a lot of difficulty with. You look in the world today, just imagine those people who did that wrong act. They leave their bodies. They will come back as babies in front of you. And you will say, oh, poor children, how can you suffer like this? What is the story of the past that has become the present? That is what is called destiny. Destiny is my story that I've been journeying with, that I have been writing it, not knowing that I'm writing it. This is why one of the biggest part of blindness, I will call it, that we used to have and think from, is that God wrote everyone's destiny. Is God going to write such a destiny for that child? No. Yet it was something we grew up to believe in. And this is why people say God's willing, God's will. If God wants this, if God wants this person to die, then he will die. If God wants this person to get well, where is my part in what I am playing in this whole drama of life? So we remove ourselves very conveniently. We remove ourselves very conveniently because we do not want to face the responsibility. And we find someone, and when we can't find someone, it's God. So that child's prayer at that time will definitely help, but it couldn't stop the scene. And that is why we can't question God, neither can we question her. And that's when we say, in drama of life, acceptance is a very big quality. Not easy, but when I can accept, I will be able to give. If I do not accept, I can't give. So we will join the whole world in thinking of injustice and injustice. And so we don't go that journey, that path of thinking of what is justice and what is injustice. We move in the direction of always giving because we can't change the scene. But what we can change is this moment. My response to what's happening. And this is why you would have seen that the Brahmakumaris, after those scenes, they have done so many programs for women. Women upliftment, the courage that women have in them, help them to awaken that Shakti in them, that they do not become subservient to those kinds of brutality. You do not set yourself up for it. You do not do the things in life that will make those things happen to you. And so we take a very, very pure, positive, spiritual approach to anything that's happening. Anything that's happening. Does it make sense? Because the world will spin in the circumstances. We don't join the world in spinning in the circumstances. We join with God to do the right thing. And that is to educate people, to awaken their spiritual powers within them, to make them see their value, and to live a better quality life. Right now in our retreat center, ORC, I don't know how many of women are there, and they call it the Shakti retreat. Because when Shaktis are awakened, their powers inside are awakened, is very powerful. This is why goddesses are remembered, goddesses are praised, goddesses are worshipped. For 9 days, twice per year, goddesses are worshipped. Who will help women to awaken their spiritual powers? Only God can do that. And this is why at the Brahmakumaris, it is all about education. It's a spiritual education. And it's not something that where women only are being educated. Everyone. Why? Because we're souls. God looks at everyone and he says, my children, my children. And so those who are in male body has to awaken their compassion. They have to awaken their feelings of pure love, not control. Respect. Respect for mothers, respect for women. Sometimes, and I'm being very open, is that when I hear the stories today in this present day world, where women are still being tortured by their husbands, I really feel a lot of compassion, not only for the women, but for the men. Why I feel compassion for the men? Because my heart goes that, can you wake up to realize the truth? Wake up to the truth that they are not maids and servants, but they are goddesses in the home. And so the benefit in thinking, the benefit in our lives, the benefit in creating that experience of the richness of our lives is so powerful. And that's the benefit. That whatever is happening for the best. One scene would have transformed so many people's lives. So many people would have become more educated because of one person's suffering. And we may not agree with it, that that person had to suffer. But it happened. Can we change it? We can sit in that space and think, why this happened? It should not have happened. Where was God at that time when this happened? But it's not only that one scene. These are the scenes that's happening in the whole world today. And how do we work towards changing it? We can't change the past. But what are we doing at this present? And so it is very deep, this aspect of knowledge that is taught at the Brahmakumaris, it gives a great deal of strength and support for us. Because it's a very deep understanding that you can't change any scene that has already happened. And that's where we say, full stop. We put a stop, we put a dot, the point. This is why you know those who do rituals, pujas, right? They put these dots, 1, 2, 3, some wear it at their forehead, 3 dots. It's an awareness. And the moment you apply that awareness, everything starts changing. Now, these are called experiments in Raj Yoga meditation. They're experiments in Raj Yoga meditation that transforms our lives. You know, how many things I would have gone through in my own, with this body, in terms of disagreements and relationships, in terms of, you know, so many things. What has helped me to see things differently and to make every scene become the best is when I use what I've received as knowledge, connecting to God. It gave the soul the power to transform my thinking. Does it make sense? No, we are not debating. That's right. We are not debating. Remember. And that's why, even in this story that you're sharing of Draupadi in the Mahabharata, Draupadi was not saved just because she prayed to Krishna. She did an elevated karma before that she was promised that you will receive the fruit of this karma. Yeah, but at this particular junction, if something happens to me and I remember God, I ease the suffering. Because when Krishna's finger was cut with the Swadershan Chakra, Swadershan Chakra went out, killed this person and came back. Draupadi tore her sari. She was a queen. She tore her sari and banded the finger of Krishna. So she did that karma. So we have to connect everything. See, this is why this study at Brahmakumaris is not a part of study, it's a whole. And so what created the destiny that Draupadi was saved at that time was the story of the journey when she tore that sari, banded his finger, and she was blessed. And then she also said to Krishna, why did you not come before? Why did you wait till I was being disrobed? And then you showed up. Then you showed up and saved me. Why? What was the reason? You remember? Who remembered? You did not come to me first. You went everyone, to all Pandus, all Kauravas were sitting there. You went to everyone and then you came to me. Now we can look at those stories and look at our own lives, everyday life. When something happens, whom do we call for first? Whom do we go to? Friend, husband, pick up the phone, call the police, call this. We do all those things. And then I might think of God. Someone didn't do such nice things in their whole life. At the end, when they're ready to leave the body, family will say, now remember God, think of God, pray to God. Let us all pray to God now. No, so see how we are using God. God is not a human being. God is world benefactor. He's the ocean of love. He's the ocean in all the qualities. But you know, he's also almighty authority. He's not our puppet that we think that, you know, he's God and so he should appear anytime for me. I do whatever I want with my life and you must appear when I need you. It doesn't happen like that. This is why our study here, and I'm bringing back what is our study here, because it's a study. We're studying in this, it's like an art of our life. We study how to connect and to stay in this remembrance of God, to change and transform everything that is not good to make it the best. And I will tell you honestly, it's only that can help us. Because what we receive from God is so pure and so divine, but we receive it in drops. We do not receiving it as He's the ocean. Because we do not have the capacity of that purity built up in us to receive that much, to make that instant transformation. Simple thing. Tell someone today, become vegetarian. Become vegetarian. It is so difficult. Why is it so difficult? We go to temples, we don't take non-veg food to the temples. We don't offer these things which are not pure to God. Then why am I feeding myself that? Why am I hurting the animals? Because I want to satisfy my taste. Now we are doing so many things which is considered to be irreligious. But I want to think that when I need God, He should be there because I pray to Him. Not possible. Because karma is so powerful, God can't go beyond that law also. And this is why there's so many stories on the path of devotion, which I love those stories. Why? Because it shows me clearly that God cannot give me the fruit without me sowing the seeds. And this is why it is always remembered, you take one step of courage, God will take 1,000 to reach you. But who has to take the first step? God. We wait for God to take that step. Not God. I have to take that step of courage and see the wonder of the experience of God. And so think about it. Think about your own life. Think about how you in this present day, in this present moment, because this present moment, what you're creating is going to give you the experience of the most beautiful life. I'm creating it right now, what I choose, what I want. And when I do it, I'm creating my tomorrow. Future is my today. Sometimes we hear many people say, be in the present, be mindful of this moment. No? I said, but what does it mean being in the present? What am I doing being in the present? I can't be doing something which is not pure, which is not authentic. And I will say, I'm in the present. I'm not thinking from that pure place and I'm saying I am in the present. I am in the present in the very highest consciousness. And then I create. Everything will be beautiful. You watch and see the seeds you sow, how you're changing and making everything the best. And remember, the best comes from my thoughts, my words, my actions, my life. Not from the scene, but how do I respond through my thoughts, through my words, through my actions, being in the company of God. What am I doing? Meditation. 5 minutes. So let's all sit very comfortable. Put this body in a very comfortable seat. And know the one who is saying, I feel myself to be comfortable, and I feel that this body is also in a very comfortable seat. And become aware that in this body there is the living light, the beautiful light, the light that is seated at the center of the forehead. I am the light, the living light, the immortal light. My innate qualities is to be peaceful, to be loving, to be pure, to be humble, to be sweet, to be generous, constantly feeling that what others need as their qualities, I give. In the awareness of who I am, as this pure light, I'm pulled by the supreme light. God, my supreme parent, the one who is the ocean of love, the ocean of peace. And the more I'm in the company of God as the highest on high, the almighty authority, the one with all the powers, the soul receives from the source of all qualities. And these are the qualities and the spiritual powers that helps me at the time of difficulties. It is these qualities and powers that fills the soul with all the wonderful experiences, that has the power to transform anything. Transform by seeing everything from an elevated awareness. By seeing it from the attainments that the soul has received from God. Emerge any scene in your life, whether in your life or whether in those around you. And see yourself in the company of the parent of the soul, the supreme parent, filling you with the wisdom, filling you with the powers, the power to change, the power to transform, the power to make everything easy. Whatever happens around, I go to God. I think of God. I experience God's company. And it is this experience that makes the soul becomes the one who gives, bestows. The hand of the soul is not for taking, but for giving. Sharing good wishes, pure feelings. Always a bestower. Om.